What's up and welcome to another episode of Football Everyday brought to you by Maybank Premiere Accounts, coming to you live and direct from Studio B here at the Wanasama Shopping Centre. My name is Nelsen and joining me today in the studio, once again, local R&B singer Mr. Liang.
Feels like home, my friend.
Mr.
Feels like
Liang,
home.
Yeah. good to have you back with us.
Likewise.
And our special guest, Maybank customer, Hasmudi, right?
Okay.
Welcome on the set.
Okay.
Welcome
Good
on
to
the
have you
set.
with us. Thanks for taking time to be on the show. As customary here on Football Everyday, we're going to start the show by asking our guest Hasmudi today, who do you support and why?
Okay, I'm gonna disappoint you guys. Actually, I'm a Chelsea fan.
Oh, it's okay,
No worries, no
little bit of variety never hurt
Because
anyone.
Initially, I'm more interested in Spanish football, but later on, during my secondary school, I began to follow EPL, and then I thought it was boring to root for the team that we're actually going to win trophies. I mean,
So you knew we were going to win anyway.
Yeah.
You knew we were going to win
I
anyway.
think that's why I'm supporting Chelsea, because I want to see another team to take over the regime. Okay.
Right. So who do you support in Spain, curiously?
Actually, during my primary school, I like to watch Real Madrid under the Vicente del Bosque.
Right.
The style of play is very
Galactico
interesting.
time,
Yeah, the first batch of Galacticos.
So did I, man. Right, bro, pleasure having you again.
Likewise.
In contrast to last week's episode, we can start today's edition, I think, with a smile.
Smile on our face.
Seeing as Man United came out tops in the Carling Cup, having beaten Aston Villa by 2-1. Bro, Rooney wasn't even supposed to play, right?
That's right.
But the unfortunate Michael Owen got injured again. So would you say the script was kind of written for Rooney to come on and be the match winner?
Well, you could say that, but at the end of the day, I think I was really rooting for Owen to score, and he did, because early on he had glimpses of the old Owen back in Argentina '98. How he dribbled past everyone and he was brought down by a crude tackle.
Yeah.
So I think I was rooting for him to score, and he did, but to see him come off injured in such a manner just had a little bit of a bittersweet feeling.
You got a feel for the guy, right?
Yeah, really, and I really do. So my heart goes out to him. But Rooney being Rooney, and right now on the form that he is in, you can't bet against him not scoring, and he did.
Yeah. Okay, but looking at the other end of the thing, other than Man United, what do you think of Villa's performance? Should Vidic have been sent off?
If you ask me, in all honesty, yes, it was a penalty,
Right.
and yes, he should have been sent off.
Probably because the referee kind of thought, it's a bit early in the game.
Yeah,
and
so
let's not ruin the game.
Yeah, let the
Curious
game
how he
flow
didn't even
a
get a
little
yellow card, right?
Exactly, he didn't get booking.
I was perplexed as well.
I think he was, let's let the game flow a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe just let it go and see what happens.
All right, so United have won their first trophy, but let's move on to more of the weekend's results and the way things turned out at Stamford Bridge. Would definitely have given United double happiness. Let me ask Liang first, bro. In all honesty, I'm sure hardly anyone would dare to predict that Chelsea will lose to Man City at Stamford Bridge, right? Look, we know they finished the match with only 9 men, but was it an expected result for you?
Well, you see what happened to Man U when they went away to play Champions League and they came back really, really tired. Sir Alex said they left something in Milan, and I think the same was true for Chelsea as well. You play a Champions League midweek, you come on to the weekend and you feel like you're tired, you're looking for fresh legs and you don't quite have it. So I think it kind of showed. And a 4-2 result, I think it was fair. What do you think? It seemed like a fair result.
Hasmudi, what do you think of Chelsea's performance and Carlos Tevez?
Chelsea's Manchester City, I expected Chelsea could have lost, but I never expected the score 4-2.
Oh, okay.
Because
Right.
the scandals hit the teams, Terry, and then after Terry, Cole. So I think the focus is not there, and then later on, Cole is not playing out for injury.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it hits the team, because actually the Chelsea attacking force, they started from the back line, from Cole, from Terry. So when they're hit by the scandal, so I think the focus is not there.
Yep, got to agree with Hasmudi.
Very
Quickly, what do you think of Carlos Tevez and Craig Bellamy, man?
He was out for a long time.
Tevez's return couldn't have come at a better time.
Yeah, definitely not, because he came back smack in the middle of a really big game,
Yeah.
and I think he really served notice, like, hey, I'm back and I want to really play. And it was therefore to see 2 goals for Tevez and 2 goals for Bellamy. They're back in it.
Right, and people are secretly saying now that he's still secretly working for Man United.
Well, that's the hope.
All right, guys, great stuff, but it is time for our first break here on the show. But we'll be right back with more football chat and banter, so do stay tuned to Football Everyday, brought to you by Maybank Premiere Accounts, and we'll see you soon. It's a great one.
So you expected 4-2? No, you didn't expect 4-2.
Welcome back to Football Everyday, brought to you by Maybank Premiere Accounts. Here on the second segment of the show with me, Nelsen, Liang, and our special guest today, Mr. Hasmudi. Moving on with the weekend's results, guys. Other notable results saw Arsenal score twice in the last 5 minutes to defeat Stoke City by 3-1. Hasmudi, Stoke gave the Gunners all sorts of problems, in the beginning, and took the lead once again via a very, very familiar source, especially for the Gunners now, through a Rory Delap bullet throw, So, you think Arsenal did well to come back and win?
Yeah, the 3-1 scores, I think Arsenal again play at their best with the passing, quick passing and everything. Even though the Aaron Ramsey injury, I think that one is a 50-50 challenge. That I think that the red card is actually for the injury, not for the challenge.
Right. I mean, Liang, building on what Hasmudi has said, only thing that took the gloss off that win was, of course, the serious injury sustained by Ramsey. Definitely. But I know, bro, whichever team a guy plays for, it's never nice to see players get this kind of injury, right?
It's beyond football. We're talking about a potentially career-threatening injury, and we saw it happen to a 19-year-old with the world in front of him. Yeah, bright future. So to see him spend maybe a whole year off nursing that injury, it's really sad. And the pictures splashed all over the papers. It was quite sad. But you seem to notice a habit.
A trend with Arsenal players?
Yeah. You saw the same thing happen to Eduardo. You saw the same thing happen to to Aaron. Yeah. So it's quite sad. And I think teams are taking it a bit too serious. Because Arsenal play a very, very slick game. Yeah. And the only way that you can ever stop them is being really, really physical.
There, right?
Yeah, just get in there and knock them off the ball. And you didn't just knock him off the ball, you knocked his leg off too. So,
bro, deserved result for Arsenal?
Definitely, because they came back after the injury and just really went for it. And I think they really deserve 3-1.
All right. Meanwhile, a starting place for the returning Fernando Torres saw him and Steven Gerrard both score to give Liverpool a hard-fought 2-1 win over visiting Blackburn. Look, Rafa and Sam Allardyce, are still feuding, I tell you. But on the day, Blackburn played above themselves, in my opinion. Yep. Bro, I think they were unlucky not to have gotten something out of it. But it's all about the quality of players like Torres, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, analyze the whole thing. It's Fernando Torres, first game back after so long, scores. Yeah. And he was quality up front, just holding up the ball, bringing people into play, and, just such a threat all day.
Just the kind of half chance.
Just such a threat.
Bro, are you impressed by Liverpool? Well, on that day, or just Fernando Torres, if not the whole Liverpool team?
Actually, for Liverpool, they couldn't, until now they are struggling, they couldn't replace the space left by Arbeloa and Alonso.
Yeah, that's right.
So they need the quality striker like Torres.
Right. So let's now get into our email of the week, I tell you, which comes from Azrul, who is actually a Spurs supporter. Azrul says kudos to Spurs for their 2-1 win over close challenges Everton, but he expects the battle for 4th spot to go down to the wire with Man City, Liverpool and possibly Aston Villa all in the mix. Bro, Spurs didn't play their best football against Everton, especially in the second half. I think, but they still managed to win. But personally, who would your pick be coming on the season to finish 4th?
It's hard to say. Man City's got the money, and everybody's got quality squads. So it's hard to say. But like the email said, it's going to go down to the wire. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting to see who finishes in 4th place and grabs the final spot for Champions League. But if you ask me, I have a feeling Man City will edge just a little bit ahead because they've got a game in hand. They've got a quality squad. Tevez is back. They've just beaten Chelsea on home turf. I'd say the signs are all there for Man City edging everybody else out for 4th place.
Right. I mean, let me get an opinion from you, man. What do you think?
I agree with Liang. Actually, Man City at their best can beat any team in the league, and then also they have one more game in hand. So I think they have more opportunity to gain the 4th place.
So Man City, well,
it's looking like it.
That's going to be a big disappointment for our dear Liverpool fans out there, including Daryl Go and Well, Azrul, thanks a lot for the great email and for your efforts. You've picked up a nice prize courtesy of Adidas. If you're a Maybank account holder as well, do let us know, and you'll also take home an exclusive Maybank pack consisting of an Adidas Premium as well as a Maybank bag. To write to us, just like Azrul did, do drop us a line anytime at football@thestar.com.my. It is time for our second break here on the show, but we'll be right back with more chat and banter with Liang, Hasmudi and myself here on Football Everyday, brought to you by Maybank Premiere Accounts, so we'll see you soon.
There was a Liverpool fan.
There was a Liverpool United. Ian. And you're back with us on the third and final segment of today's show, and this is where we preview the weekend's tasty and mouth-watering fixtures. I tell you what, so let's start with the early kickoff at the Emirates, where Arsenal host somewhat free-falling Burnley. Bro, Arsenal are now just 3 points behind leaders Chelsea.
That's
and
right.
I tell you what, they're in with a shot for the title. So you think this home encounter against Burnley should be nothing less than a win? Or might it not be so straightforward, seeing as it's always tough playing a team who are fighting for their lives, right?
Well, that's one part of the equation, and I think, I'm tempted to think that maybe the injury to Aaron Ramsey would have an effect on, psychologically on the rest of the squad. Like, maybe we shouldn't go in for the tackle so hard. It's a 50-50 ball, and they might think, okay, maybe I'll pull out this one. They might hold back a little bit because they're a young squad. So bearing that in mind, as young players go, they're a little bit more open to this kind of a thing. So it's interesting to see how the injury would have impacted the whole squad. And I don't know, Burnley fighting for their lives, Arsenal maybe affected psychologically. It might turn out to be a dodgy affair, maybe 1-1.
I mean, wow. Okay, personally, I think the Gunners are in for a stiff challenge on the day, but Hasmudi, what do you think the score is going to be? What's the match going to be like? What do you think the score is going to be?
I think Arsenal are going to take the game 2-0 because even though Aaron Ramsey out for injury, they still have their key players, Fabregas and Vermaelen. They still can play.
Right, but Vermaelen was like...
Yeah, sorry in papers, everybody's, well, it's hard to say, but they've got quality players and they can definitely get a result, like you said.
Yeah, we know they're capable of definitely winning, right?
So it's a case of how and if they do overcome the psychological impact of the injury.
I think it's really going to be interesting, this one. Meanwhile, fellow relegation candidate Wolves welcomed second-placed Man United to Molineux. Bro, when United lost to Everton, Chelsea went to Wolves that same weekend and ground out a 2-0 win. Do you think United can also defeat Mick McCarthy's men on their own turf?
I think that's I wouldn't say it's a given, but it's looking more likely that we'll get the 3 points at Wolves. Wolves, they're a decent side under Mick McCarthy and all that kind of, but I don't see them doing an upset over United.
All right, but I got to ask you, what kind of team do you envision Fergie to be putting out with one eye on the return leg in Champions League against AC Milan the following week to come?
I'd say it'd be a good mix, a good mix of the old heads and some of the fringe players. You might even see Gabriel Obertan coming in to do a start on the left wing.
Rooney to start?
He might, but everybody knows he's carrying a little bit of a knee injury, so he might be rested, or he might be on the bench and maybe brought on to good effect on the second half.
All right, Moody, you think United are going to win?
Yeah, because actually last 2 seasons, if anyone come and ask me, is Rooney is better than Drogba? My answer would be, there is no way Rooney on any given day would be better than Drogba. But now, if they come again and ask me, I would have to say yes. Based on current performance, Rooney is better than Drogba. So if they have Rooney on the next fixtures, next game, I think they're going to take the game easily.
Right. Okay, and over at the JJB Stadium, Wigan hosts Rafa Benitez's Liverpool. Bro, having beaten Unirea in the Europa League and then Blackburn last weekend, look, that's 2 in a row for the Reds, which is something quite rare this season for Liverpool.
Definitely.
So can you see them making it 3 in a row against another side desperately battling to avoid the drop?
I'd say they can because I think Torres coming back has given everybody a boost. Gerrard's playing a consistent number of games, and I think the team's starting to gel. I think when a star player comes back, everybody's up for the fight. And with 10 games to go, there's no better time for everybody to get down to business at the business end of the season. So Liverpool against Wigan, I'd say it's a Liverpool win.
All right, at this stage of the season, Moody, how crucial do you think is the return of Fernando Torres for Liverpool, in your opinion?
I think the league title is out of question for Liverpool. So Torres' return is actually important for them to gain the 4th place for the Champions League competition.
And possibly win the Europa League as some form of consolation.
That is the hope. That is the hope.
Bro, quick score prediction?
Well, I'd say Liverpool 2-0.
2-0, okay. Lastly, Chelsea are not playing this weekend, but I'm going to ask you, Hasmudi, if you think the Blues can overcome a 2-1 deficit to knock out Jose Mourinho's Inter Milan and make it into the quarterfinals of the Champions League?
I think so, because I think they were going to sort themselves out, and Ancelotti will do something about it. I think with the discipline play, I think Chelsea going to overcome Inter Milan.
Wow, it's a bold prediction, but remains to be seen.
Yep.
Nice one, guys. Just before we leave, as usual, today's Football Everyday fun fact is on none other than Sir Alex Ferguson, a record-breaking manager. Bro, did you know that Fergie was appointed manager at Old Trafford on November 6, 1986? And St Mirren has been the only club ever to sack him to this day. No, so bro, 24 years at the club, and he still shows that same kind of hunger, which is really incredible, isn't it?
I think it's a measure of a man. If you've got hunger after winning so many different things, over with so many different teams, I think it's just down to that burning desire and that burning passion to want to achieve and really leave a legacy at a club like Manchester United. When he first came in, they were, they were, just kind of there and thereabouts.
Yeah.
But now they are the team, not just
and
in
kind
England.
of the benchmark for every club. Right?
Exactly. So people are talking about the Man U seat being a hot seat when he leaves. Who's going to fill it? I think it's going to be hard, very hard.
Moody, very quickly, who do you think is going to replace Ferguson, or who should replace Ferguson?
I think the quality of a manager like Jose Mourinho, because actually I have nothing against Man U, okay? But actually I think in the Premier League, the only team that have the 150% determination is Man United, determination to win.
Right.
So that's why they keep on consistently competitive in the league.
Okay, nice one, guys. I appreciate your opinions, bro. Pleasure. It's been having you on the show. Thanks for taking the time. Liang, once again, as usual, we'll see you again soon, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Thanks for being here again. Guys, till then, till next week, we see you next week. That's it from us here on Football Everyday, brought to you by Maybank Premiere Accounts. So, Nelsen wishing you a good weekend of football ahead, and we'll see you soon. Ciao. Nice one, guys.
Very good, man.
It's easy, it's not live.